Greetings everybody, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to the first episode of a new series covering Sengoku Dynasty. If you would like to skip the game's overview or the details about this series, please use YouTube chapters. It's an open world village builder where you start off as a refugee in a feudal and war-torn Japan and are given a chance to build a dynasty as a peasant. You build houses, workshops, farms, and defenses and grow your community, and you'll quickly find yourself becoming an influential leader amongst the Peasant Kingdom. Take up a sword, bow, or yari and defend your land from bandits, deserters, wolves, bears, and worse. This stream will be a hybrid of Let's Play and tutorial, and I'm playing single player, but the game does have co-op as you can see above my head. I will not be using any of the exploits because there are exploits to be had, and I'll be playing on normal difficulty. The priority of the game is going to be determined through polling, and the overarching goal is just to showcase the game, its features and mechanics. Also, one extra note, the game is in early access, and while quite fun in my opinion, and pretty beautiful, it is also not very well optimized, meaning that like, when you get into late game with like giant villages, the game starts to run poorly, so your mileage might vary. There is a whole bunch of different game modes. Creative, of course, is just full freedom, no cost for anything, just creative fun to build like crazy sprawling villages, but all the way up to hardcore, I'm just going to be playing on normal. Alright, let's get through this quickly. I'm going to be male, I'm going to change the skin tone a little bit. Let's take this face, give me a little stubble, and bald. Oh yeah. No, not even a beard. This is me. And your name is just Rado. Yes, that is your name now. Here we go.
大名の一存は国を火の海へと変えた。それから故郷の村を離れ、一月。道なき道を歩き続けた。時には盗賊に出くわし、ある者は病を患った。行く先々で見る光景が戦の恐ろしさを物語っていた。夜になると収穫できなかった畑のことを思い出す。それに家族のこと、子供たちや村に住む人々のこと、置き去りにしてきたご先祖様や村の神様には許しを請うばかり。ただ願うはあの伝説の平民の持ちたる国でまた家を建てて平和に暮らすこと。漁師たちに手を貸してもらえた。船は最後の目的地へ向かう準備ができている。大海原が旅立ちを待ち受ける。とにかく無事にたどり着くことを祈ろう。
New objective. Find Akko, your traveling companion. So we're washed up on the beach after a shipwreck. And let's go find the traveling companion. So in the UI, you have a compass on the top, pretty typical. What isn't typical is the seasons here. So right now it is spring, and I'll explain that more in detail. And then you have health, stamina, dynasty level, and food in the bottom left. You're alive! Yes, when the ship went down. Oh gods, don't move, you're hurt. I'll be alright, it's just, I'm cold. Stay here. We need to start a fire. I'll need some tools to set it up. I'll be back in a moment. So gather 3 stones. 1, 2, 3. Gather 3 sticks. And right-click to handcraft an axe. There we go. cut down a tree and collect a log. And then handcraft a hammer. Also, I personally like to remove stumps, so there the stump goes. Handcraft a hammer. I'm going to open my inventory and bind the hammer to the 2 key. And then walk up to her and craft a campfire. So with the hammer in my hand, I right click and I can pick a campfire. In order to build the campfire, I need 4 more stones. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I just hammer away to build the campfire for her. There we go. Are you feeling better now? Yes, thank you. I'm gonna be alright. I have some goba roots to snack on. Here, take some and we can eat it together. But what do we do now? We had supplies on the ship. Here, we have nothing. When do we move on? We don't move on. We spend our whole lives running away. Look around. There's fertile land, tall trees, fresh water. And I didn't see any soldiers guarding them from ordinary folk. I believed in the legend of the Peasant Kingdom, and I don't intend to stop now. Maybe you're right. How do we start? Is there even a village over there, or just ruins? I'll go take a round. I'm sure I can convince someone to help us. I'm also going to take some of the stuff that's on the ground here, because, well, she's not using it. So, a place to call home. Go to the nearest village. What do you want? I'm a refugee. And one of a rare breed, I see. What do you mean? Not many make it through the sea. We barely made it. There was a shipwreck. We need some place to stay. People are wary of wandering folk carrying the plague, wanting to have some of their food or crowd under their roofs. It won't be easy for you to stay here, but poor refugee like you has no choice but to try, right? Don't count on me to help you too much, though, but here's something to eat. Now go. And he gave me simple fish meal. Well, that's okay, because I'm going to steal the rest of his stuff. Yoink! It technically wasn't his, it was just sitting there. I swear. I found it that way. And cheers to all of you resubbing and cheering. Thank you. So, ask for help. My friend and I almost died in a shipwreck. You have to help us settle here. Ah, right. That was you. I saw how you cared for your friend. It's really touching. I must say, I might have misjudged you at first glance. I'd be glad to welcome you here, if it was up to me, but it isn't. Every new settlement needs permission from the abbot up in the Nata... I don't speak Japanese. Temple. What about rebuilding? Do I need permission for that? You mean this old place, Sosogi? The abbot could have some objections, but you know what? Your plan is so wild it just might work. The bell tower is the heart of the village. Sosogi's tower is in ruins, but luckily for you, I found the old bell in the ruins. I meant to sell it, but it's too heavy to carry. Here, take it. Make it ring out. Where should I put the bell tower? It's up to you. You can literally rebuild Sosogi here, or you can take the bell and place it anywhere you like. But do come back once you're finished, or once you're settled. There are people here that could use your help. So, I'm going to rip the old bell tower down. I have the alarm bell, and I can put it wherever I want. I am going to put it... So, I'm going to get slightly into spoiler territory, but I'm going to spoil as little as I possibly can, which is, in the game, there are different regions. And these different regions have strategic resources. So Sosogi is in a region with copper, and the other regions, like this one has copper and tin, this one has tin and bamboo, this one has iron, bamboo, and premium conifer, so on and so forth. When you liberate a region, you liberate the strategic resources and also unlock the recipes given to you from liberation. And in this case, I don't actually want to revive Sosogi where it is now, because it only has copper ore as a resource. So instead, I'm going to settle roughly here. in a totally different region because it has both copper and tin, which makes bronze. I'd rather have copper and tin rather than just copper alone. Before I get out there, I am going to tear down some of these burnt buildings for resources. And my character just leveled up. New Way of the Craftsman. So there are 4 trees that you can level up in. Way of the Leader, which you primarily get by leveling up your dynasty level. Way of the Craftsman, you get by mining, farming, and lumberjack. Way of the Warrior, you get from combat. And Way of the Monk, you get from visiting shrines and making offerings to shrines. In this case, I have Way of the Craftsman. And the first skills I can get is lumberjack, constructor, or miner. And I'm going to get lumberjack because I'm going to have to be cutting down a whole lot of trees if I'm trying to rebuild my life. Can you settle on the intersection of zones? You cannot, no. Wherever the bell is placed, that is the region that is assigned. With that said, again, slightly into spoiler territory, if you have your bell on either side of a section, you can move the bell to gain access to strategic resources. So for instance, JD, to answer your question, if you are on the border of the Central Plains, for instance, and some other region, you can move the bell into the Central Plains during winter to harvest ice and then move the bell back to harvest the other strategic resources outside of that specific season. So you can use the bell moving exploit, but again, as I said in the description, I am not planning on using exploits, so that's not one I will be employing. But I did test it because I was curious. Shinto Priestess. I'm going to sell her basically everything I have here. Maybe not the straw. Oop, you walked away from me. Maybe not the straw, but everything else, because I want the money. These gobo sticks were given to me as a gift. And now I have 70 coin, which is important. I'll explain why soon. So let's head to that point of interest, or this spot that I wanted to settle the village in. And lay down roots. Who needs a bridge when you can leap? So we just entered in region, the Injiro Rebels region, which I intend to settle into. And I want to be at the top of this hill. I'll take some eggs, though. Why not? So here's copper. And there should be tin around as well. Now, the thing about the strategic regional resources, you can harvest copper and tin on the ground all you want, but the villagers won't be able to unless you gain the liberation of the region. So your personal harvesting isn't restricted by region, but your village is. And this will make more sense once I have a village. So I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but I just want to explain it. Oh, here is a boar that wants to kill... Oh, multiple boar that want to kill me. So let's make a handcrafted yari. And I just leveled up my dynasty level. Oop, don't gore me. I feel like I'm playing Vintage Story all over again. So this is just a basic spear, which is not very good at killing things. But against a pig, it will do. That'll do, pig, that'll do. And I just leveled up the Way of the Warrior twice, and the Way of the Leader once. I don't want to just leave a boar here. So what I want to do before I leave this area is to skin it. So in the Way of the Warrior, I'm going to unlock Animal Trophy Hunter. And I'm going to unlock 2 ranks of it, so that I get more from animals when I skin them. Then I'm going to want a stone knife, and I just happen to have stone and sticks. And I'm going to put the stone knife as my 5 key and skin this boar. And I just collected fur, fat, and meat. Good. I also happen to have a neighbor where I want to settle. He's a looter. So I am going to craft myself another yari. And he's going to be sorry that I threw my yari. Sup, dude? Haha. Get off my land. I've got a bell, you don't. And he's gone. He also had a wooden yari. I don't want it, but I will take his stuff. Warning. Auto-sorting your loot, I believe, will make the enemy bounty items disappear. I'm going to test that now. Oh, no, they fixed the bug. Terrific. All right, never mind. It used to be a bug. It's not a bug any longer. They fixed it, like, today. All right, so here's an enemy encampment that I just cleared. And now back to finding a good spot for my village to build a bell tower. So I wanted to be up here at the top of the hill. It has beautiful views and is nice and flat. It has some unruly neighbors, but they're tasty, full of beautiful pork. So I think this is a pretty good spot. The game is designed where if you settle close to wild animals, they will stop spawning around you, so there isn't that issue. Is this a spoiler to ask where to trade in bounties? Literally anyone. Anyone that can trade will buy a bounty off of you. So, not a spoiler. Anyone. So yeah, it's relatively flat. When looking for a place to settle, you're definitely going to want it somewhere flat. Because if it's not flat, you're going to be prohibited from building. So let's go ahead and build that bell tower. Here it is. And I'll put the bell tower maybe right here. Now the bell tower will have a sphere of influence that you can build your village in. The one disadvantage of picking here is I'm not going to have access to fishing, which is really not that big of a deal. But I kind of like the strategic resources and the area, so I picked here. If you're wondering, I've played quite a lot of this already. I've played, I don't know, 30, 40 hours, so I'm speaking from a position of experience in picking this spot. It's not arbitrary, not at all. There we go. New village has been founded. If you hit N, as in November, it opens up the dynasty screen, and you can go down to village and name your village. So this is going to be Yodasu. Yep, that's right. Yodasu Village. If you're wondering how I came up with that name, I made it up. All right, the next goal that I have here is, oh, I dodged you. Haha, you want to die too? Man, we're going to eat well tonight. My ability to avoid fishing in every game I play is impressive. Yes. I am a really piss-poor Pacific Islander who happens to hate fish. It's like, my familial line comes from a long line of tuna fishermen, and I'm like, fish? No thanks. Alright, so I leveled up in Warrior again. I'm going to get another point in Animal Trophy Hunter, because I like it. And then let's go with Trained Endurance. So I have more stamina, and then I have a new tree to unlock from. And I am going to unlock parrying abilities, which allows me to parry attacks. In Leader, I am going to unlock Ibisu's Boon to get more chest loot. So when I get loot from the defeating enemies, it's more stuff. Alright, next up. Build a small house. So here's the types of things you can build. You can demolish. Basic structures would be like roads, defensive structures, campfires, tents. Village structures are like wells and trade posts and shrines and light. Then you have farming, which is water and land farming. So water farming would be like rice, land farming would be like wheat. Furniture, if you want to put bedding down, bedding and most furniture needs to actually go into buildings, and I'll explain this later. And then last but not least, decorations, if you want to spruce it up. So you can plant trees, hang banners, hang lights, put weapons on weapon racks, etc., etc. You can really make this game very pretty. I would say of all of the open world like village builders that I've played, this is the most gorgeous. It's not to say that it runs all that well, but anytime I played an open world village builder, I've very rarely tried to make things look nice, but it's so rewarding to make things look nice in this game because it is really pretty that I actually put more effort into it. So here is the small house. Now, one of the benefits of building something for the first time and this includes tools or really anything that you ever build, is you get a first-time build dynasty experience. So in terms of your experience, your dynasty experience is the way of the leader, and it controls your dynasty level. And you level up this by constructing special projects, liberating regions, reaching new population records, crafting and building new recipes, or completing certain quests. Craftsman, like I said, is just lumberjacking, you know, and mining and the like. Warrior is fighting, and monk is visiting shrines. And you can mouse all over it, and it will tell you exactly how to do it. So let's go ahead and build the first house. It doesn't really matter where it is, because you can move houses as much as you want. So I'm just going to plop it here, but I can obviously move it around and give myself a better view or whatever I want. So the first stage of the building needs 4 logs. I only have 2 of them, so we're going to cut down another tree. No, you don't cut trees with a hammer, dude. Let's try this better. Eventually, you will unlock a shovel to be able to dig up stumps, but for now, I'm just going to chop the stumps up for sticks. And make a new axe, and for a new axe, I need stone. One of the disadvantages of this specific spot is that it has a somewhat limited supply of stone directly around it. Why dig up stumps? Because stumps will block construction. So if I'm not digging up stumps, this forest is basically going to stop me from building a town. Is there a maximum level where you can unlock everything eventually? Yes. It just is, follows the law of diminishing returns, where the higher your dynasty level, the more difficult it is to obtain it. Same with all other experience. So, unless you're in it to play hundreds of hours, which is entirely possible, you're not likely to unlock everything. If you're wondering, the games that I pick for myself on Tuesdays and Fridays, I always enjoy. I would not pick a game that I didn't like as a Rad's choice, because I'm a digital masochist where I like my games difficult. I'm not a masochist where I like my games boring. Okay. First phase of the house. There we go. Then we're going to build a floor. Then we are going to build the walls. Now in this case, we can do some design decisions. So if I wanted like a second door, I could put a second door over here. Or I could put a wall. Or I could put a window, right? There's some, it's somewhat limited. Like buildings won't snap together. You can't make like apartment complexes or anything like that. But the game does have some flexibility. You can also change the material. So if I had more coin, I could make this out of conifer planks. Or premium conifer, if I had premium conifer, but I don't. I just have sticks, so we're going to make it sticks for now. And I'm going to need more sticks in order to finish this, obviously. So collecting sticks is pretty easy. Eventually, once you have an entire village, you can basically assign people to be woodcutters, miners, farmers. This is a village builder game, so you're not solo. And there's actually parts of the game that you can't even do yourself, like rebuilding bridges, rebuilding lighthouses, rebuilding shrines. That can only be done by your villagers. So it's actually a very important mechanic to assign work to others. Now, right now I'm alone, because I just have a bell tower and a 1/8 built house in the middle of nowhere. But that will change. That will certainly change. And you think I need windows facing the cliff? I'm probably going to rotate this house anyway. So that the door doesn't, you know, the door is away from the cliff. So I will give myself windows. Now, on the bottom left, the yellow symbol is my dynasty meter. So as I level up in my dynasty experience, as you can see, the yellow part is about halfway full. As it fills up, that's when I level up in dynasty. Green is food, yellow is stamina, and red is health. Stamina is just refilled by not doing stuff. It's not like a resting mechanic. You can sleep in this game, but you don't need to. And last but not least, well, actually it's not the last, but a roof. So we're going to need 15 grass and 5 more sticks. So grass can be collected. Eventually you'll unlock a tool like a kama, which is like a Japanese sickle, which is really good for collecting grass, but for now, by hand is the method of choice. And I'm going to collect 25, actually. There we go. Nope. Wooden hand broke. Make another one. And just like the walls, you can change the types of roofs. So you can have thatch roofs, wooden roofs. But for now, all I have access to is makeshift roofs. Build essential furniture in your house. So we have a hearth, a sunken hearth in the floor. Then I'm going to move to the back of the room. And then a bedroll, a sleeping mat. There is multiple types of beds as well, as you can see, that I will unlock as I level up my dynasty level. So some things require dynasty level to unlock. Some things require certain zones to be liberated to unlock. Some things require a strategic resource to be obtained for the first time to unlock. And some are simply coin for the blueprints. So there's a bunch of different ways that blueprints are locked to the player. And not all of them are just economic requirements. Some of them are you have to liberate a region, or you have to obtain like steel for the first time, etc., etc. Okay, question for you guys. Now that I have finished what the game offers up as kind of a tutorial, my 2 cents is we would return to the person we found in the village to try to help the people out in the burned out Sosoji village, which would be work on a quest. But if you want to do something else, you are perfectly welcome to do that as well. So I leveled up my dynasty level again, and the whale leader, I am going to go with the enemy loot increase. Way of the craftsman, I'm going to do lumberjack again. And while you guys vote, I'm going to cut down a few of the trees right around my village. Also, let's rotate this house, because I just wanted to demonstrate that. So if you look at the foundations here with a hammer in your hand, you can hold T and just move your house however you please. So if I want to like put it up against the cliff, there we go. It's now right up against the cliff. And you can rotate it. Breaking stuff down will not refund you, but you can move things pretty much as you want. So there we go. Now we have a stunning view that just goes straight down. One other thing I want to do is I'm going to add one more bed to this house. So if I go to furniture, go to house furniture, beds, I'm going to add another sleeping mat here. So there's a finite amount of furniture that you can add. So for instance, I can only add 2 beds to this small house. I cannot add more than 2 beds, but I would like a second bed here. In fact, I'm not even assigned to my own bed. Is there fall damage? Not only is there fall damage, there is an achievement that you can get for falling to your death. So if I wanted to assign myself to one of these 2 beds, I could hit N, go to population, go to Rado, which is me, and assign myself to Yadatsu, small house, one of the sleeping mats. So now I own one of these 2 sleeping mats. How fast does the environment regen? Within a few seasons. And this game has seasons. Alright, so you guys want me to work towards a quest? We are going to do that. So let's open up our quest with K. And we are going to do the Road to Renewal. Offer help to Tatashi. So I'm going to go up to this bell tower and hit fast travel. And go back to Sosoji. It costs 10 coin. That's why I sold stuff to that Shinto priestess that we found initially. so that I could fast travel back to the starting village without having to walk there. Because having to walk there is going to get annoying. What are these ruins? Ruins, you say? This used to be my home. Then my neighbor started a rebellion. An alliance was formed between villagers of the valley against the lord ruling us. Fight for dignity? Well, look around. Not very dignified, is it? I've rebuilt the house. Already? That's impressive. Congratulations. Maybe you should expand. Build a forging or woodcutting hut. But overall, time to settle down, eh? No, this is just a beginning. I want to build a place for everyone. Everyone? My friends, my neighbors, everyone from back home, other wanderers like me. Wait, this might be going too far. The people here are afraid and mistrustful. They will never accept a whole flock of vagrants settling here. I convince you. Don't you think I convince them as well? It won't be easy. It won't be as easy with the others. If I were you, I'd start slow and not to scare everyone with the little vision of yours. People have to get to know you first, and the best way to make introductions is to offer to help. The first person I need help is Akko. I can finally offer her a place to live. But do go on. Who should I talk to? I can think of 3 people worth talking to. A warrior, a priestess, and an impure. Tell me about the warrior. He is a bit, fancies himself as a protector of the people. He puts on an air of a warrior, but he has no lineage to speak on. He is one of us. Well respected by some, hated by others. Tell me about the priestess. And I'm not sure what she's up to now, but I'm sure you could find a way to make you do his work for him. The priestess. A priestess in charge of local shrines. She's a gentlewoman, worried that all the kami, the divine spirits, have turned away from us. Or actually, that we have turned away from them. Talk to her, maybe you can console her. Tell me about the impure. He is an impure from Seji. As all impure, he lives between the earthly world and the divine realm. He does things that are spiritually polluted, like burying the dead or disposing of animal carcasses. Only those living close to the spirits can do these things, and I think he's carrying an especially big burden right now. Talk to him, maybe he'll be able to take some weight off his shoulders. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is talk to my traveling companion to join my village. But who to help first? Warrior, priestess, impure. I'll eventually do all of them, but might as well have you guys pick the order. Wow, polling is totally not working right now, is it? I'm going to try to reboot it. Does fast travel cost money every time? Yes. But the amount of money that it costs is so inconsequential, it's probably not worth worrying about. Unless you don't know how to earn money in this game. And then, yeah, you're going to have problems. Okay, yep, polling broke. I'll do them in the order that he told me about then. I carry good news. The village is reborn. Come join me. You're unbelievable. That makes me so happy. Just tell me where my house is and I'll get to work. So, the way to do this is to hit N, go to population, select the Akko, the refugee, and assign the small house in Yadatsu to give her a home. So now she lives in Yadatsu, the new home, and she will resettle there. She's currently unemployed because I don't have any job buildings for her to do up in Yadatsu. But for now, we're going to help the locals in Sosoji. So, quest tab. We're going to do the territorial defense. Talking to the self-proclaimed warrior. It looks as if my character does not count towards population. No, I don't count. This is villager population. I'm like the village elder, if you will. Is that gallows behind you? Yes, of course. Did you come to pay respects? Not sure. Who is hanged there? You must be a visitor from far away. Welcome. This is the exact place where the famous Injiro drew his last breath. by the orders of the accursed Shibayama. I'll finish this letter. I gotta go. I don't really care about your local lore. Sorry, pal. Hopefully Poland comes back, because I would very much like your feedback about what to do next. But if not, you know, I can always take the reins and steer. So here's the Shinto priestess. She's closer than the warrior, so I'll talk to her first. I heard you need assistance. The shrine is empty, nobody visits it anymore. With famine, people feel like the goddess Inari has left them. Inari sends foxes to protect the crop. But what can foxes do when humans burn the fields? I can make an offering to the goddess, perhaps others will follow. Find an egg and cook it over a campfire. Times are rough, this will do for now. Where can I find one? I think I saw a crow's nest on top of the rocks you passed on your way from Sosoji. I already happen to have eggs, because I've been collecting them. So, what I need to do is to build a little campfire right here, because I can't use hers. I can't build too close to her cabin, because it's like an owned building. So I'm going to put a little campfire right here to cook my egg. I'm going to offer her an egg in this trying time. And I'll cook 19 eggs. Or just enough eggs until I get bored. Yep, I'm bored. I'm gonna eat one of them, or two, possibly. Okay, I'm gonna cook a little bit more eggs. I'll cook some of this stuff. So every time you cook something new for the first time, you get Dynasty experience. So that's what you see in the right side of the screen over there, getting experience for cooking something new. All right, all full. So let's change our quest to the Tranquil Tribute and use the cooked egg to make an offering to Inari. The alert in the top left is an alert about unemployment. Essentially that Akko is unemployed, and it's just warning me that she's not doing anything. It's fine. I don't care. It's not a big deal. We'll eventually build some sort of production facility for her to work at, like lumberjack farm, etc. So I'm headed to a shrine to make an offering to the priestess. And we are now in a new region, the mountain region. We just crossed over, as you can see here. Inari Shrine discovered. You know what? I am sort of tempted to cut this bamboo down. Bamboo is a very useful building material, but I got through it anyway. Alright, so I'm going to make an offering. And then I can go back to Shiome and tell her that I've done it. There's also a refugee here. So I am going to go to My Dynasty screen. And, well, I'm going to talk to her. Why did you leave home? Most people have terrible stories. Mine is a bit different. My mother was originally from here. She left Nada when she was just a girl. She always told me that this was the most beautiful place in the world. So when the war started, I joined one of the groups that were headed here, and I wanted to finally see it. Won't you come with us? There's a place for someone like you here. Would you take me in? Thank you. Where would I live? So I'm going to give her my bed. I am going to be homeless. I don't care. There we go. So now we have 2 villagers. And typically you find refugees that want to join your village outside of other villages. that are like waiting to be taken in, but sometimes you can just find them like camping out in the forest. And the points of interest on your compass at the top, any refugees that you're close to would show up as a question mark. Sometimes those question marks are going to be bandits, so going up to every question mark, you're not necessarily going to always find refugees. In fact, most of the time you're going to find hostiles. But hey, we found our first villager outside Akko. An offering has been made. Inari is pleased. You have your blessing. So the blessing's down here. That little yellow icon. And my respect. It was just a trifle, just a cooked egg, but you did what the locals have forgotten about. It's not just them, but an outsider who got blessed by her. And I follow her judgment. Here, take this bag of gobo seeds, and may your crop be blessed by Inari. Okay, so she gave me a bag of seeds to start a farm, and gobo can be planted in spring, summer, and autumn. And then also while I'm here, I'm going to sell her a bunch of the stuff I don't want. So I'm going to sell her combs. I'm going to sell her the bounty. I'm going to sell her the cooked gobo, the meat, because it's going to spoil before I can use it, I think. Let's do the rest of the eggs. And the sake. Oh, okay, yeah, there we go. And even the berries. Good, I have a little bit of coin now. The prayer beads are... I'll get into that later. But basically, your villagers will have certain things that they require, and prayer beads fulfill their spiritual need. So right now, my villagers have food need that are not being met, which is causing them to be unhappy. And as your population grows, your needs increase. So at population 5, we will have heating needs, meaning supplying things like wood bark, firewood, or charcoal so that they can stay warm. Thank you for tuning in to Sengoku Dynasty, which originally streamed live on Twitch November 15th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Dynasty warriors.